Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. As you already know, this is your U.S. General. 5-drawer tool cart with side tray and deep compartment. Today is Thursday, as you can see. We now back over at the storage unit, getting back to it, getting busy as always. All right. In today's segment, what I would like to do is get a little comparison amongst quite a few different brands of ratchet and wrenches, just as well as I will be mixing up the content in this particular video. I'm just now getting back. If you just happen to catch yesterday's video, I did state I haven't been actually purchasing any brand new tools, but I have been picking up quite a few things on the side. So we are going to be able to take a look at that just as well in this particular video. All right. But I ain't going to hold you up too much more longer in the introductory of things. But as I always state, as usual, I always keep my signature lingering somewhere in the background. My Dunkin' Donuts coffee. You already know. Okay? So pretty much I'm about to get some contents out to the top of the tool cart. We're going to dive right into it. So walk with me. Let's get it. Okay, right about now I have quite a few things sitting at the top of the tool cart. It's not much. Okay, did pick up some of these items in a particular yard sale. All right, there were, a few things that I actually did need, as some spares. What I was fortunate enough to come across, as you can see here, I picked up two USA made 1/4-inch flathead screwdrivers. These are USA made. The older make Craftsman's, just as well as I picked up this number 2 right here, which is a Phillip. Okay, I needed another short handle sledgehammer, so this came in handy. So I figured, I picked this up. This is good, for beating on rotors and things like that of that nature. All right. I did pick up and come across these two. These are more like duckbill flush cuts right here. I believe that these are made in China, right? So they're not anything spectacular, anything of that nature, but they will work for the purpose that will be needed when time called upon, right? Just something extra, to have around. There's no particular brand stamped on these particular flush cuts, nor this set right here. But this was just something that I did recently pick up for quite cheap, not much at all. As you also know, as you can see in the back, I do have a 1/4-inch ratchet back here. I'm not a big fan of quick release ratchets, but when I came across this particular ratchet right here, I did like this. This is made by Autocraft right here. Okay, and it came with this extension and this socket right here. All right, the very first thing that I did notice about this Autocraft, if it will focus in real good on the knurling on the extension, I do like this knurling to this particular extension right here. It actually reminds me of Proto Professional knurling, and just as well as SK. Okay, there's another thing, as you can see towards the back end, all right, how it has its push selector, all right, how it pushes forward to release the extension. All right, in some cases, when it comes to my ratchet selection is strong, and mainly more I have a lot of snap-on equipment, just as well as Milwaukee equipment. Okay, but it's not to say that I do not use less cheaper brands of tools when needed. All right, not everything necessarily has to be tool truck brand graded, depending upon what type of work, especially if it's light duty, if it's something in a professional settings or a professional shop. I do prefer to go with the high quality because that's day in and day out use and things like that of that nature. I want to get this extension off this particular ratchet real quick because I want to be able to show something. All right, so just give me a second. All right, like I was basically showing how you have your push for the quick release here, okay, and then you can see how it extends towards the front. It has a ball detent at the top, and when you push forward the ball detent, it moves inwards when it wants to. It's not doing it at the moment. It's not really a big problem or anything like that, where that the socket comes flying off the ratchet or anything like that. But I just happen to notice how it does have a double feature where the ball detent actually detents within the anvil. It goes down inside the anvil normally as you're pushing the quick release forward if it would focus in properly, but at the prior moment it's not technically showing it. But like I stated, I'm not really a big fan of quick release ratchets, but I did like this particular one right here. Okay. In most instances, in my ratchet selection, okay, I do have a lot of soft grips. And I have less standard handles. My standard handles are mainly more in Milwaukee ratchets. All right, but that's not to say that I do not like using standard handles. I actually do prefer them. It's just fortunately in my selection at the prior moment, I do actually have a lot of comfort grip handles. Okay, so let's move along. All right, while I was out and about, I did pick up this compression gauge right here that reaches to 145 psi. All right, I liked it this, so I did snatch this just as well. All right, I do actually have another one, but it's always good, to have two. All right, so this was another pickup real quick. So now what we're going to do is we're going to jump into this comparison amongst these ratchet wrenches. So I'm going to get these wrenches out and we're going to dive right into it. So walk with me. Let's get it. Okay, just to give you a little quick rundown real quick, this is going to be the battle of the 10 millimeter, with the exception of two other ratcheting wrenches. Okay, at the prior moment I have four out. I'm actually going to pull two others out. When it comes to the snap-ons, I don't actually have snap-on ratcheting wrenches in these shorter lengths. I actually have the XL double box ratcheting wrenches when it comes to 10 millimeter and 8 millimeter. All right, just as well as I'm also going to throw a Craftsman in here. But what you're taking a look at, and not all of them will be flex heads. I believe two out of the many few that will be at the top of the tool cart are actual normal standard open end ratcheting wrenches, technically compared to the other individuals that are in flex head ratcheting wrenches. All right, but what you're taking a look at here is your Milwaukee 10 millimeter. Okay, this here is a 10 millimeter Pittsburgh First Harbor Freight tool, but this is not a 10 millimeter. This is a 3/8. But they're roughly around the same measurement. All right. Here is a gear wrench. Just show that. This is a gear wrench here. This gear wrench is I believe made in China. This is not made in Taiwan, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, in China by Apex Tools. Okay. And what you have over here is your Mac Precision Torques. All right. When it comes to the Mac Precision Torques, the Mac Precision Torque is the shortest amongst the other three that you see sitting along towards the side at the prior moment. When it comes to the head of the Pittsburgh, okay, the Pittsburgh head is the most widest and thickest amongst the rest of the flex heads and non-flex head but ratcheting wrenches. Okay, just to give you, a little side-by-side comparison. The Milwaukee is coming in at the most longest measurement amongst the four that are at the top of the tool cart at the prior moment. Just as well as the Milwaukee is the most thickest, okay, in its body. All right, so to me, the Milwaukee is a little bit more durable when it comes, within the body area where that, you wouldn't get no flex. I've never actually had no issues with these Milwaukee ratcheting wrenches. They do work very well. This 10 millimeter has been heavily used. It's, I don't know if the camera is focusing in, too well on it, but you'll see the scratches and the finishing on this particular wrench is starting to dull off, in this area where the teeth and the max bite feature is at. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get out these other two wrenches and get them all side by side so that we can take a look at things. Let's get it. All right, the extra long double flex head ratcheting wrench that you see here is your snap-on high performance. All right, this is 8 millimeter to 10 millimeter as far as what you can see here. To give you a part number on this particular, if it will focus in for you. Let me see if I can get this to focus a little bit more clear. It's because the lighting. Let me see something here. Maybe it'll focus in. So there go your part number, XFM 810. Okay, made in the USA. These are snap-on 8 millimeter to 10 millimeter here. All right, this is a Craftsman's 11 millimeter. All right, this is a ratcheting wrench. All right, it's not the same as the others that you would see sitting along the top of the tool cart. This is a spline drive ratcheting wrench. When it comes to spline drive, I don't necessarily recommend them. There's some individuals out there who do use them. Me personally, I really don't use them. It was a purchase that I had made quite some time back, when a Sears was going out of business, and they had like boxes of equipment, in a assortment, stuffed into one box, and they was liquidating things like that. So I just happened to come across some spline drive setting tools, just as well as some spline drive sockets. Okay, but when it comes to the Mac Precision Torque, the Mac Precision Torque is then in its design when it comes to the body. Like I said, when it comes to the Pittsburgh Pro, the head on the flex head is kind of thick. All right, as far as the flex, as you can see, so you can get a little comparison. All right, and this is the Mac right here, and as you can see, it's not going anywhere. Okay, so the Mac Precision Torque is very sturdy. You see, it didn't even move, and and you can see it didn't even move anywhere. Okay, so you can see what type of flex that it has. These are the gear wrenches here, so you can see. All right, since the Milwaukee is not a flex head ratcheting wrench, I do have the Milwaukee flex head ratcheting wrenches. Just unfortunately at this particular storage, I don't hold them here. I hold them at my other storage unit. Okay, when it comes to the snap-ons is still the most smoothest when it comes to its ratcheting mechanism. Okay, the precision torques do have a smooth ratcheting mechanism, but it's more high pitched. When it comes to the snap-ons, you can rarely hear them, just as well as the Milwaukee has a fine tooth count, and they're type high pitched also. It's hard for me to spin the ratchet mechanism and hold the camera, because at the prior moment I'm using my phone, but you can hear. And those are the Milwaukees. Okay, so to get the gear wrench, and you hear the gear wrench sounds a little bit more quieter, more smoother. This is the Pittsburgh. The Pittsburgh, not for nothing, sounds almost similar to the gear wrench. Another thing, like to take notice too, is the width, and you can see how Pittsburgh's is made compared to the gear wrench. All right, just as well is the Mac. Okay, so with the Macs, see it's a little bit more high pitched, even with the Craftsman's. And once again, these are spline drive. But see, you know, like I said, these can be used, but I don't necessarily recommend them. There are individuals out there, once again, who do use them. All right, now these are the snap-ons. Sorry if it's because I'm trying to spin and hold the camera phone at the same time while doing this, but as you can hear, that the snap-ons are very smooth and very quiet. Okay, so that's pretty much what those are. I did pick up something else while I was out and about, so I'm gonna get that out real quick, get that to the top of the tool cart, and we're gonna take a look at that just as well. Let's get it. Okay, now that I got the next following item out, just real quick, if you're taking a look at this video and you do not technically have a mechanical background and you're looking to obtain information, and if you're looking in on this particular bone wrench and you're trying to figure out, you know, what this is because you've never seen something like this before, and maybe, you know, it's possibly the first time that you've ever seen this before, all right? This is used in tire repair shops. Okay, this is basically used to rebend metal and steel wheels. Okay, not aluminum. All right, so this was something that I also needed, you know, in my own personal selection, because, you know, sometimes, you know, people hit curbs, or, you know, they bend their rims with having an improperly inflated tires and things like that. They back up against things, or, you know, they get curb rash and they wind up getting leaks, and they don't understand, you know, why they're getting a particular leak, but they don't see a nail or something like that in their tires. And sometimes it's a good possibility the rim may be bent from the inside where it's not technically visible, you know, to certain customers and things like that. So basically, this is what is used right here to rebend, resurface the rim. Okay, so this was one of the last pickups that I made right here. All right, so yeah, like I was basically stating, all right, you know how I'm not really as much of a fan as quick release ratchets, because I do have, you know, strong selection in my ratchet selection, as you can see down here. All right, just as well as up top, I have, you know, snap-on ratchets up at the top of the chest just as well. I have two different 3/8 drop bent handles, but, you know, I keep different selections of ratchets between Mac Access, Mako, and snap-on. The only Mako ratchet I actually have is a 1/4" lock and flex head. I don't go with it in a 3/8 for a 1/2" drive. I have two 24" snap-ons, lock and flex head and non-locking, just as well as I have the Mac Access locking. All right, but, you know, I'm heavy in a lot of different comfort grips, but I do actually have standard handles just as well when it comes to Milwaukee. I used to be big on Mac and Proto Professional, but I did discard quite a few things, a while back. All right, so that's pretty much, what that is right there. But it's not to say, that I do not use least inexpensive non-tool truck brand equipment. If I like it, if it's nice in hand and it works for me, I get it and I do what I do with it. All right, so this is for those individuals out there, who's looking to obtain information and trying to figure out, what's the best bang for your buck and things like that. If you do not wrench professionally, I don't suggest that you try to go out your way and, spend a whole bunch of money if you don't use your tools, on an everyday use like that. Unfortunately, at the prior moment, I'm still not at work, all right, but I do wrench professionally. As you can see, I do have a lot of expensive equipment, and you're just basically seeing just the tool cart. You're not actually seeing my whole full catalog of equipment, all right. But I'm soon about to get back to work, all right. So that's why I've been gone for a little minute, all right, and not uploading no videos, because I'm trying to get into a particular dealership at the prior moment. Unfortunately, they was having a freeze on it, y'all, so I'm still waiting, all right, at the prior moment. But I'm about to start giving you these videos and start flooding, the timeline like I was doing, all right, because I was putting out a lot of different content like every other day, whether here in the storage or when I would normally be back at work inside the shop, giving live demonstrations and things like that, because there are quite a few new subscribers and things like that, and people tend to ask me, do I even use my tools or do I work professionally and things like that. Some people assume like, maybe I have a lot of time on my hands, and nobody goes out and buys equipment and do not know how to use it, all right, especially high quality equipment, and not everybody has access to tool trucks and things like that just as well. So if I did not wrench professionally, I wouldn't normally have access to a tool truck or snap-on truck. Like, I have plenty of videos, showing all of that. So that's no here there, it is what it is, all right. Let's get to it. All right, I'm about to end this video right about now, all right? But before I do, I'd like to give a shout out to the viewers that is looking in on the channel from Canada, Australia, and the United Kingdom, just as well as the United States, all right? And another thing is, if you're not subscribed, all right, to the channel, subscribe to the channel, like, share, subscribe. Just as well as if you're mechanically inclined, or if you're not and you're just looking, to obtain some good information from a good tool community and things like that out there, stay tuned, all right, every Saturday to the Heavy Wrench live streams, all right, which normally is every Saturday evening and things like that. It's a good gentleman by the name of Phil, all right. As you can see, we heavy over here with it, all right. So until the next one, we're going to check y'all later. Everyone have a safe and a blessed one out there. Peace.